Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Coby Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Coby Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Coby, it's cold outside.
It is.
And I'm telling you, the snow is supposed to be coming, and by the time people see this show, they're probably going to be like, it's already here. But all I can say to those of you who are watching us, just stay warm. Stay warm. And when you got me wearing a scarf, that means it's cold outside. And thermals, it's cold outside.
It's one of the coldest weeks of, well, I guess of the year, but of the season, the winter season so far. And we're supposed to get a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So
it's on the way.
It's on the way.
It's in South Carolina now, they said. So we're going to see how it all turned out. But I just want everybody to stay safe and stay sound, because that's going to be very important. And how before we even get started on the news, how are our brothers and sisters doing down there at the tent city?
They're doing good. I was out there 2 nights ago talking with a lot of them. There's been a few medical emergencies because of the cold weather. And again, when providing food, pastas and soups are best, especially like noodles, because it helps build your energy up and store it long term. And it takes more to break down as well too. But again, you know, a lot of them are making ends meet down there. Yeah. But I have seen someone has been donating wood down there, piles and piles of wood. So if you go down there almost at any time of the night, during the night, there's a nice fire going around so people can heat up if it gets
not too close to their tents or anything.
It's not. They've built it out so that it's a nice round, like a campfire almost.
Okay, that's awesome. And what about this project with the Wilmington Housing Authority building? Now, that's not set up yet, is it?
It's not. So you have a manual dining hall that's going to be going in there that they're doing construction now. And then there's like a warehouse space that's going to be used as a day center in there. But also that section will be used for code purple for when it drops under 20 degrees. The issue is right now, because they're doing construction for the manual dining hall side of it, they can't use that building for living space right now.
Understood. This week in the news, we did have just Wednesday a shooting in the city, in the west center city section of the city, where there was an 18-year-old. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Yeah,
around 6:43 Wednesday evening, there was a shooting on West 7th and North Adams Street. An 18-year-old is in stable condition, was transported to the hospital in stable condition. And as of right now, there's been no additional information. And the young man, he walked into the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he was dropped off or what, but he's the one who walked into the emergency room with the gunshot wound.
So how does that work? When you are a victim of being shot and able to walk in, or even able to, who survived, how do you become under investigation, or how does that work?
Of course, especially if, questions are asked at any gunshots victim. Police are immediately notified by the hospitals, regardless of what hospital you go to. They come, they have questioning and everything. But then also, if you're found to be like the true victim of a crime, of a shooting, there's victim services from the state level that they offer different resources for you, funding to get back on your feet and everything for the time that you miss from work and stuff like that. Understood.
And this was in the heat of the 6:43 is pretty much in the evening.
Yes.
For this time of the year. And there's no word on the street or anything that you suspect of what could have happened?
As of right now, there's been no word of any videos or anything. So the police are investigating. Hopefully they keep their 100% solving rate going.
Okay. Well, another thing happened just about a week ago, where we had a routine vehicle stop where two young people, 19 and 20, found with a major cocaine bust. What was that all about?
Yeah, so that also that happened on January 14th, Wednesday, January 14th, around 1 o'clock. And they said that they were just doing they were investigating multiple locations, doing routine stops and everything. And that's when these individuals' cars were pulled over. And it was driven by a 20-year-old woman, and a 19-year-old man was in the passenger seat. And as they were searching the car, they found these drugs in there. It didn't say what led to the stop.
They said routine. It was just a routine stop.
And again, I don't know much more on that. There hasn't been too much. It's from the Newcastle County Police.
Right.
Earlier that same day, they did execute a warrant on another vehicle where they found a handgun. But I don't know if it all had what to do with it. But it was very interesting when that story came out.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm kind of trying to decipher the difference, because at one point they talked about a handgun that was found, a .22 caliber gun that was found in that particular vehicle, but it was reported the day before as stolen by a person in Wilmington. So they're trying to connect different things to it, so it was a little confusing. But I wanted to bring it to the attention to those who are watching it for a couple of reasons, not just because they had a major cocaine base bust in here in the city, but that wasn't really in the city though.
That part was not in the city. Now, in the follow-up part, where they arrested 3 more individuals, based off of the cocaine that they found in the car, they were able to get a warrant for residents on a 600 block of North Broome Street. And that's where they arrested a 43-year-old woman, a 48-year-old man, and a 29-year-old man. And in the house, they had approximately 521 grams of cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cocaine.
That's a lot.
And that's a lot of money, and somebody got to answer for that.
Yes.
So we got to tell Chief Campos to make sure his police are on the job, because I'm not laughing, but that's just the truth. Somebody's going to be very upset that all of that has been seized at this point. And speaking of the Wilmington Police Department, I think they're doing a very good job and just making things happen. Very grateful for that. I had a conversation with Chief this week, and I thought that was a very good time. One last thing I do want to bring up is there's this rumor out that the state police officer who was shot, some were saying that they knew each other, some were saying they didn't know each other. The paper's reporting that they had minor interactions but nothing criminal. Do you know anything? I know he went to the same school you went to.
No, he went to St. Mark's.
He went to St. Mark's. I thought he went to Sally's. He didn't go to St. Mark's. Okay.
He was a wrestler, though. So.
Oh, okay.
He an athlete and everything. So the two schools.
Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You was quick to respond to that one.
So the report has come out, in which that the state police believe that there was no true history between the two individuals, and that this was a targeted attack based off the actions of the shooter. So again, based off of social media postings leading up to this, where he felt as though that the police were a gang that was stalking him, dating back to his time in Connecticut. He had just recently moved down here. He had been down here a long time. And even during the attack, he went solely for the officer.
Yeah.
And once the officer was down, he then stopped firing and encouraged and told people to go ahead, get out. I'm not here for you. Did not start firing again until more police arrived on the scene. This all took place over about 11 minutes. Wow. From 7 minutes from the initial shooting to when the next police officer arrived, and then 4 minutes after that, the shooter was shot by a Newcastle County police
So
officer.
you think he was waiting for more police to come?
And I think this was suicide by police, by cop. But he was definitely waiting for the police. He did not target anyone else in the facility. And like I said, he encouraged people to leave out.
I didn't know that detail. That's really interesting. Now that it brings a different light, where it may not have been that they knew each other, but it could have been he just wanted to do suicide by police. But he was there. You said he had just come back into the come back into the state or something. So he was there, probably getting things transferred. What is going on in the mind?
So I don't think they released why he was at the DMV. He was there earlier, went home, and then when he came back, that's when he had the firearm on him.
Okay.
Now my question is, and I've been trying to think. I know in the past they used to have metal detectors right there at the door as you came in.
They did.
But I've since been told by people who've been in there more recently that they didn't think they saw them anymore. So I don't know if they've been.
No, they saw them. I don't know if they were working.
Okay.
Because by mistake. Now this is a truth because we're on air and I don't ever want to incriminate myself. But by mistake, because I wear mine on me all the time, I went in and was fully serviced and came out, and then it hit me. Oh my Lord!
Yeah.
You know, so but it's been there.
And I think that happens quite often.
Yeah.
Right. But again, most people don't have the intentions of using their firearms.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think in this sense here is just it's bad timing, and again, I don't think this officer Snook that he was the target. So to say, he was a target because of his uniform, not because of prior actions. Okay.
And now we're going to turn our attention to the national news because, you know, I always let you be the national guy for most things. But this Donald Trump guy, President 47, I almost like President 45 because it was more contained. It was more. But do you think he's running into senile? Is he becoming senile? Because something is not right.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
You can see. Like when he is talking now, it's more just rants. He's all over the place. When they've tried to limit the amount of TV time he gets now, during his first term.
Before y'all stole the election.
I'm sad he got a second term. But during his first term, even though I didn't like what he was saying, he knew exactly what he was saying.
Right.
He was on point. He was sharp with his comebacks and everything. It seems like something has happened. I think he is truly sick, but he is also the only person that has the ability to have this cult following like he has right now.
Well, I'm not sure because we've had many cult leaders, and when you study them, like Jim Jones, and that's what I've been reading recently. I've started reading some more documentation on Jim Jones, and I'm seeing that he was able to make people drink the juice even after they knew it would kill them. I think Trump has that same anointing or that same thing going on with his life where he's able to get people to follow him, and they just stick with him. It's just really sad. But do you think if the Democrats get in, that he will be impeached?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So?
I think, honestly, if they are able to win both houses, he will be removed from office.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it from both houses because Republicans are still scared of him.
I think you'll see some find some courage because they're going to want to keep their own political careers as well, too. I think that's why you saw even McConnell start to take a stand towards the end of last term because he thought this was the end of Trump. But just like a cockroach, he came back. So
I'm going to tell Trump you called him a cockroach.
So, you know, it's going to be interesting. And right now, just you said you like 45 better. There was a video that came out from the movie All About the Benjamins in which they played the lotto numbers again. And those lotto numbers were 15, 30, 37, 38, 45, 47. And someone brought up, said, oh, that's all the presidents I don't like. That's James Buchanan, Calvin Coolidge, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, and then Donald Trump for 45-47.
Oh wow, y'all conspiracy people, y'all really know how to pull stuff together. But it's funny because when I'm writing sermons, I do the same thing. You know, you're trying to not so much putting in conspiracies, but you try to connect stuff that people don't just see naturally. But that's interesting. I never was a supporter of Donald Trump, and never will be. But he's worth investigating or studying because it's just really mesmerizing how he has taken over the Republican Party, which was supposed to be the educated, the well understood conservative group of individuals. He just overtook them, and now it's almost like whatever he says go. Who is the senator or is it the congressperson who voted to impeach him? And he started being very kind to him because he won again, and now he has endorsed somebody else to run against him.
Bill Cassidy.
Yes.
In Louisiana, who, yes, voted for impeachment and everything, has spoken out against him. Donald Trump has endorsed Julia Letlow, who she was never supposed to be a member of Congress in the first place. Her husband, Jake, had won his congressional campaign, campaigned on COVID wasn't real, COVID wasn't real, COVID wasn't real. Died of COVID.
Yeah.
And she won the special election to replace him, and now she's running for U.S. Senator down there, and most likely will win.
Really?
She will most likely win down there and be the first Republican woman to be a senator from Louisiana, and beat Bill Cassidy.
But I thought that he had, now that Trump is weakening, that he had some strength there.
Trump's base in the South is the strongest, and in Louisiana, he has a very high approval rating, even though a lot of them are being affected by his policies. The only places that have higher approval ratings are like the Arkansas, the Alabamas, and the Mississippis, which is all right down there together.
Yeah. Now, one last thing before we go to our commercial break. With in the same era, McConnell, he's running again?
McConnell is not running again.
So why did somebody say that, so Elon Musk put $10 million in to support a candidate not so much, I thought somebody said to replace him, but not so much is it to make sure that candidate win?
Yes, to make sure that they hold the seat. So there's a black man running, well, there's two black men running, but there's a black Democrat running named Charles Booker.
Okay.
Who, this is his third U.S. Senate run, and he came very close before. And they are very scared that he may flip that Senate seat out there from Republican to Democrat. Elon Musk, I believe he is gun-ho on, he created a super PAC, which is Kentucky Super PAC, Fight for Kentucky Super PAC. He put $10 million in there. And this is someone who isn't doing the same thing he did for the other swing states like Ohio and Pennsylvania. He's doing this in strongholds that should be stronghold Republicans, but he's backing someone named Nate Morris. And Nate is a MAGA supporter, has been a big supporter of Donald Trump, but is very unknown in that race. So while he's putting that money up, as you know, the former Attorney General who just lost the governor race out there to Andy Beshear, Cameron Daniels, is running to replace. That's who Mitch McConnell is supporting. And then there's a congressman out there as well that's running. So again, it's very interesting to see that Musk decided to back someone who is lesser known, but also is, I believe, a hedge fund manager. Wow. So again, money involved.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, because if he's involved in it, you know it's going to have to be some money involved in it for him. Well, on the political scene, I just wanted to really bring up Donald Trump at the end of my time, because I really feel that he's, one, have gone senile. Two, some of the things that he said about Biden, other than being stiff, he's really exemplifying some of those characteristics and those traits, and some of these races. When we get to my last segment of the day, we're really going to have to talk about where we think we are. I think that we're in good position to do both still, but we're going to see how that turns. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Home. It's the place where we go to feel secure, safe, and loved. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we give at-risk youth a place to go where they feel safe, supported, and people care about their future. A place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
And we're back. What's going on with the Coby Corner?
Yeah, so I want to talk about a few things. But first, in Minneapolis and what's going on with ICE right now, ICE has gotten a dangerous criminal off of the streets of Minneapolis. This criminal was 5 years old.
Wow.
And they are trying to justify the action by saying that the 5-year-old and the boy's father are illegals and they're criminals and all this other stuff. They arrested the young man, the 4-year-old boy, not young man, boy, at school. Child at school. And then as his father was coming to pick him up, they got the father as well too. There is a video circulating of Liam Ramos crying as they're pinning him into a SUV.
That's crazy. Can I just stop there for a minute? Because that angers me. That angers me that they continue to say we're going to get off the most violent criminals. We're not after other folks. We're just after the every person here illegal is illegal, and they can handle that. But they were even arresting people who were going to make sure their paperwork was right. So that's not their agenda. Is to just outdo Obama. Can I just say that without it becoming an issue? If the black man can deport all those people, we have to show that we can do more. And Obama did not trample over people's civil rights to the level that these people are doing.
And here's the thing also, right? They're going after kids. Also, on that Tuesday, they arrested a 17-year-old in Columbia Heights who was taken into custody with no parents there as well, too. In a January 14th case, ICE agents pushed their way into an apartment and detained a 17-year-old girl. And then on January 6th, at the beginning of this year, the first case was a 10-year-old fourth grade student was taken into custody while she was walking to school with her friends. Later in the day, when the mom showed up to the school, when the school called and said that her daughter didn't show up, they arrested the mom. And regardless of what they're doing, whether they're trying to use this to get the parents to come out to look for their kids, that is inhumane. It is. That is inhumane. And these are not dangerous criminals that they're saying. These are not gang members. A 5-year-old is not a gang member. A 10-year-old is not a gang member, right? It's sad. They are disrupting that community up there, and their next stop is Philadelphia.
Yeah, before you go to Philadelphia, let me just say they're going after that community because that community frauded his election. He won both times, and they did not declare him as the winner. It is so personal with this guy. I don't understand it. And they're disrupting the whole country over vendetta. He wants to get people back. For what? And some of the stuff that's in his head is not true. Unacceptable. Go ahead and go to Philadelphia because they're going to be in a rude awakening when they get to Philadelphia.
And they feel as though Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, is going to welcome them with arms, as they said in their press conference. And I just want to point something out. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love for their neighbors, for people from there. Even some of their neighbors from the South, from Delaware. Philly is not the city of brotherly love for occupation forces like ICE. And I don't know if I should be nervous or excited to see how Philly will fight back, because Philly will come together and fight back.
Well, let me say, as a Philadelphian, you should be nervous, because we are a little bit different even than in Minneapolis, in that it's going to be a fight. And it's not going to have to come from Sherelle Parker, although she will fight and is a fighter. She's a Philadelphian too. It's going to be the people. The people, if you've not seen an uprise, see, we can fight each other. Like you said, to brotherly, to those who live there, whatever. But if you think they're going to sit back and let it happen, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to happen.
And let me just say this. In 2020, I was asked by some organizers in Philly to come help them strategize. And we did the protest. We had the rolling protests and everything. But one thing that they had up there that I had never thought of was called Bikes and Whites. I was like, well, what does this mean? They have a whole community of white people who will come out and put their bodies in between the police and the black activists. And then to even protect them, because Philly police love using bikes as battering rams up there, they bring their bikes with them.
Right.
And they roll, as we march, they roll on the side, make sure everything cool. Soon as the cops get there, they come and they stand in between. I had never seen something like that. We had organizers who were helping out from New York, from Delaware, from DC, and even someone from LA who have been in the movement for a long time. None of us had ever seen something like that. And I'm just thinking, you have that mentality, the gang mentality up there as well too. In 2020, they put everything aside and came together, right? That is what you will see if ICE tries to do these same things in Philadelphia. It's not going to work out.
I don't want ICE to come to Philadelphia, to be very honest with you, Coby, because I don't want to see a city have to go through the turmoil that it's going to go through. But I feel very confident that just as they couldn't prevail in Chicago and other places, it's going to be the same way.
Yeah, they got out of Chicago pretty quick.
But it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, because you're going to have people who are going to stand up. But the scary part is, because ICE is so vicious, you may find more murders.
Yeah. In Chicago, they were stealing the tires from the ICE vehicles while they were eating food. They stole a few vehicles themselves.
Yeah.
And Philly, I rank as number 2 place that you don't want to overreach, with number 1 being the city of rebellion in Boston. Yeah. But again, it's where the Civil War started. This is where the American Revolution started. This is where our nation started. And in 250 years, if we could revolt against the British military, we can take on our own.
Yeah.
But bringing things back to Delaware, on Thursday, the governor issued his State of the State, and I'll break that down next week on the show. It is budget time for all the different levels, for the state, for the county, for the city, all municipalities, schools. They're all starting to do their budget process to be ready to go by July 1. But also in that, the framework for our public school funding system has been presented to the state Senate and the State House Education Committee. And this framework is modeled with a 3-tier state funding. And I just want to break that down real quick. So the first tier is the base funding, right? It's the largest pool. It covers staffing. That is the number one thing. Teacher salaries, all that will be covered in the base funding. That's cool, right? The second is called opportunity funding, which schools will receive on a per pupil basis. It identifies categories in which students who need additional support, special education, multilingual learners, students from low-income households, and will give additional money to the schools based upon that, right? So higher need schools will receive additional money. And then the third category is flexible and based on the school demographics, right? Which covers operational expenses in such as utilities, but that also will be on a per pupil basis, right? For the allocation of funding on that, to give them the ability to be a little more flexible with things like that. But again, the Tier 2 and Tier 3 are going to be critical for helping the city of Wilmington schools really start to address that educational gap that we have seen for so long right now, and that we are decades and decades away from fixing, but this is the start of it. So,
but I hope what people will realize is that it's going to take time to get this right. And I don't want this Board of Education or any group to say, oh, well, it didn't work after a year. It's going to take time. We've dug ourselves into this ditch, and we're going to have to dig ourselves out of it.
And I just want everyone to know that even with the property tax reassessments, and how people weren't happy with those, the changing of times right now, right? The changing of the funding structure, the changing of the school districts, right? None of that would have happened without one man, and his name is Councilman Jay Street.
Yeah.
His relentless effort and bravery to sue the state of Delaware, because not a single one of them had the courage or backbone to change any of this. A judge had to tell them they had to change it because they lost that lawsuit. If it wasn't for Jay Street pushing,
Right.
and Richard Mouse Smith saying, okay, the NAACP can join in, we would not have any of these changes happening right now.
And these type of facts won't be recognized even into some people's death, because people don't pay attention to the folks who worked hard behind the scenes to make things happen, who had guts, who had courage to make some things happen. When you said that, I was very appreciative that you even brought that out, because very few people even know that. But that lawsuit did a whole lot, you know, that we're now benefiting from. Yeah.
And then again, keeping it local, in my last few minutes here, I want to talk about some of the stuff that City Council is doing. So there has been an ordinance introduced that will put a moratorium on smoke shops in the city of Wilmington. As you know, smoke shops are disproportionately affected by, or disproportionately oversaturating minority and low-income communities. They push tobacco-based products into our neighborhoods, especially for our youth as well too. They have now really dove into the flavored tobacco as well too.
Which is more dangerous.
Which is more dangerous, and the vaping as well too, which is tobacco-based as well. All that. It also includes the sale of unregulated and marijuana-adjacent products like Delta 8, Delta 9 products as well too, THC drinks. This would put a moratorium on it for the time being until we can deal with the marijuana commissioner and their recommendations and their guidelines that they want to have around this, and the city would follow suit from the state.
Yeah, let me ask a couple of questions for those who are watching us and get a better understanding. When you start talking about y'all put up a moratorium for these vape shops, the authority do you think, one, that they're going to sue saying y'all don't have that right?
So the ones in operation right now, they can still keep operating. The moratorium, what it does is it does not allow any more business licenses to be issued for the creation of more, right? And what we've seen is we have seen in one area a store close, a smoke shop pops up right away. In Trolley Square, you have 4 smoke shops within a 3-block radius. In my area, I have between the convenience stores and smoke shops, I had 7 in a 9-block radius. And all of them are doing very well. So again, it's a huge, huge issue. for the city of Wilmington right now. I mentioned Trolley because that's a party area over there.
Yeah.
But when you get into the Highlands area, when you get into the Wawasset Parks, you're not seeing smoke shops pop up.
Absolutely.
Over there. You're seeing wine and spirits.
Yeah.
It's not even called a liquor store. Yeah. Even down at the riverfront, you're not seeing smoke shops down there. You may see one cigar shop, which most of our community doesn't smoke cigars, right? Now, over South Bridge, they have a smoke shop. They have, you have the convenience stores that also sell those products as well, too. So again, just trying to limit how many are here right now until we can have some regulations put in place.
Okay, and I'm kind of grateful that you all are thinking about it, but the question I wanted to ask for our audience is, do you have any pushback in City Council for this?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
So it'll be in committee pretty soon, but we will be having conversations about this over the next few weeks, and really pushing forward with making sure that we are coming together as a council to get this done in the right manner. And that's going to be key. Some people like to rush things. I like taking my time and really making sure that we're hitting all our P's and Q's.
Okay, understood. One of the things that you wanted to talk about a little bit in your city council area is the whole affordability crisis that the city is starting to experience. And I have a little list of questions too I want to ask, but I want to hear, your take on what's going on with this city council press conference.
Yeah, so we rolled out our affordability agenda, and it's myself, Councilwoman Darby, and Councilwoman Will Howler all working together on how do we make the city more affordable, right? Way too many people are struggling right now in the city, not only to make ends meet when it comes to housing, but across the board, right? Utilities and everything. So between us, we all had individual legislation that we were working on, and we realized it kind of all intertwines with one another. Councilwoman Will Howler is working on our taxes and reassessments and making sure that they're fair for homeowners. I'm working on stuff for renters, pre-rental inspections, and making sure and creating a rental assistance program as well too, that would offer up to 4 months rental assistance, up to 3 months back pay, 1 forward or 4 forward. Very similar to the DHAP program that we had here. And Councilwoman Darby is working on water billing reform, as well as rent stabilization was her piece of legislation that she's still advocating for. Again, it's just pricing. People are getting priced out of Wilmington right now. If you go and talk to the individuals down at Christina Park, yes, there are some people from Philly. Yes, there are some people from Chester. Yes, there are some people from Seaford and Georgetown, wherever downstate. The vast majority are born and raised right here in the city of Wilmington and cannot find a place to live.
And if they find a place, they cannot find a place to afford to live.
Correct.
That's the best. Okay.
So it is something that we said is needed, and this is the first time in a long time that council members have come together and put together agenda items and said we're going to work on something together. Yeah. And hopefully we get that buy-in.
Now, one of the things I'm concerned about is that as I continue to talk to seniors who are part of our community now because they got these houses that they've received these apartments that we have. When I see what they were paying their landlords, when I see their income, how they were able to survive, I don't know. When will the city council say no more housing built unless it meets a guideline that deals with affordability?
So after our press conference, it was announced that Bacini Pollin's going to be working with the Delaware affordability group, affordable housing group, and donating a building pretty much for $1 so that they can build affordable units there, rent stabilized units there. It's not rent stabilized, it's just subsidized housing, right? Affordable housing, which that group should be doing already. They're making such a big stink about it because one, they don't want to say that this idea came from us, but Bacini Pollen has been building for how long in the city of Wilmington? This is the first time they've done that. They're feeling pressure. And even on top of that, the Delaware Affordable Housing Group, this is their first actual affordable. If they keep at the prices that they said in their press release 3 days after ours, if they keep it at that same level, then yes, this will be the first time they have done affordable housing, because they also built the houses on North Market Street between 34th and 33rd Street. And those houses, which are supposed to be affordable to buy for the community, originally started at $350,000. No front yard, no backyard. Your front door is literally right on Market Street. Townhouses all connected was $350,000. Now they've dropped those prices because they can't sell them, so they dropped them to $329. Only sold 2, and now it's dropped to $319. So again, they're developers, but their chair, who actually was the councilman for the area, and that was his big project to bring affordability to the area, when he missed the mark. And I ended up beating him, Vincent White. Again, it just shows that they don't understand what people are struggling with here. We're not getting a mortgage on a $319,000 home right now. We're just, it's not for us, right? We have to do something for homeowners, renters, water bills, and the homeless as well too. And you know, I've been very involved with that as well. So council, what we're trying to explain to our council members, we can't just be excited and be like, oh, something happened, because now there's going to be a building that has less than 15 units in it that's going to be all at affordable rates.
Wait, say that again? So the building they donated for $1.
Yes.
How many units can you get out of that?
15.
50?
15. Unless they tear it down and build new, if the current structure stays, it's 15.
15 houses?
Yes.
So they can turn them into apartments?
Yes.
So that'd be 30 units in total?
No, it's 15 apartments.
Oh.
It's already built. It's already a
For
building.
the amount of money they have made off of the city of Wilmington.
Yes.
Here, we're a little old Baptist church, and we did 10. Mm-hmm. How is it that they can even get away with just even having getting some attention that they're doing this? This is the problem, Coby. We have too much, all that high, expensive luxury living on the waterfront.
Yes.
And a lot of that is empty too, by the way. It's not like it's filled with people.
I'm glad you said it.
Well, I'm saying it's empty. But the problem I think we're running into right now is that people don't understand what affordability is, and they're basing it off of maybe their incomes of $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year. But we're talking about people who are making very less, and we have to stop the argument that if you give housing to people who are poor, that they're going to destroy it. No, that's not true. There needs to be standards wherever we go and whatever we do. But by the same token, we got to take care of the poor. Where are the church Christian people at? The heart of who God is to give to those who do not have. And even, I know we pass our time, but even with the ISIS thing, where they're putting more emphasis on that the ordained minister, who was an attorney as well, I think she's attorney general down there or whatever, went into a church and it disrupted the service. They're putting more emphasis on her going in there disrupting than understanding her theology. Yep. Her theology is that she's doing what Jesus would do. When we went into the temple and turned over the tables, because they were not addressing the needs of the people. So I'm just, this whole affordability thing is starting to get under my skin, because if he's going to do 15 units, come on, let's be real. I mean, why don't you donate one of those buildings over there? Like on the waterfront.
I would love for them to donate the press. You know, that's 300 units right there.
The press?
The press, their newest building that they just built.
No, I like Christiana Towers. I think that'd be better. Because that way you can put them all there together and they can all have luxury everything. Mm-hmm. But I just think that's just wishful thinking. I'm going to leave it alone. But I just, when we get into this, I really want to spend some time talking about affordability. At some point, one of our shows has to be really committed to it. Matter of fact, Coffee with Curry is coming back. Maybe that's going to be a place where we can just sit down and have a real serious cup of coffee and talk about affordability and what it really looks like, as opposed to saying the medium income, because you shove several people in there and you're trying to up the standard or whatever you want to call it, and then say affordability is just not fair. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
live for our weekly worship. On Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
And we're back. Coby, there's a few things I want to talk about before we go off the air today. One is the made the Philadelphia News, and they talked about Delaware really having some very spiked Delmarva bills in December. So that has been a crisis. What is going on with that?
I heard a reporter talking about it and said it's sticker shock. No, it's Delmarva making another power grab. So Delmarva, the average bill has gone up by $200, right? In 2024 into 25, we saw that big jump during that winter, and then we saw it again in January and February and March and April, and then during the summer we saw, oh, well, you're not going to use as much, right? That's what they kept telling us. But then during the summer, those bills got even higher because they went to the PJM for another rate increase. This was the second rate increase that they did back then. They are now going to the PJM again, January 2026, for their third rate change
who's on that
since
board?
December 2024. So the PJM is a multi-regional. So it's us, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. All of us are in it. I believe Virginia, parts of Virginia are in it as well too, in West Virginia. And they set the rates, and it's experts in the field, right, on how much it costs and everything. The issue is we're not producing enough electricity, so it gets more competitive. When you don't produce enough electricity, enough power, right, period, without having healthy alternatives, you're putting too much weight on it. Right, but these companies know they can make more money because they can buy it up and then they sell it to us, right? Exelon has purchased Delmarva, so Exelon buys all this from the PJM, right? And then they sell it to Delmarva and sell it to other entities, Pico and everything. So not only does Exelon have to make their money, Delmarva has to make their money, and then we get. So we have two middlemen. This is why we need healthier, greener alternatives to energy, such as solar.
Electric cars.
For those who can afford it.
They're cheap now, to my understanding.
Yeah, $55,000 ain't that cheap. But also we as the government also needs to look at other ways to produce electricity. One of the big things is data centers right now. They pool a lot of electricity, but in other countries, they are using the warm water from the data center that takes the cool water, cools down their servers, and then push it back out, using it to pump through their city piping to warm the city, right? So that they use that as organic electricity or organic power to power things, right? We're not doing that here. Looking at changing how we do our construction on our roads, right, to be more energy efficient. Using offshore wind, right? We don't do that right now. And all of it, everyone wants to argue, oh, well, it doesn't work when it's not windy out. It still produces energy no matter what. As long as those turbines are turning, you have transitional batteries that you can pull that energy from when they're not working as well, right? But you wouldn't just solely rely on one thing. You would want to pair it with a bunch of different things. So again, we have to do better, but Delmarva bills are skyrocketing. They have added more money to their customer relief fund They added $500,000 to it. You can get up to $500 off if you've received both gas and electric from them, $300 if you receive just electric or just a gas from them.
Now, they cite that it's an aging infrastructure issue. Do you think that's really the truth?
Well, a few years ago, that was the justification for why they were increasing our bills, to take some of that money and put it into capital projects.
Right.
Wilmington bills were increased, and we saw no capital projects here. So give me my money back.
Yeah, well, which means they're just going to keep using that old same story.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I want to talk about in our last couple of minutes left in the show is the politics of the world, the craziness. But I said at one point that I believe both houses will turn. I still stand on that. You at one point was saying, well, we believe very strongly that the House would turn, but that the Senate will remain. Where are you at today?
I still believe that the House will definitely flip and that there will be a wide gap there, larger than some of the gaps that we've had these last few sessions. And the Senate is still going to be very tough. It does look brighter now, but the Senate will run through North Carolina, Maine, Ohio, and Alaska, with Iowa and Texas being the other two outliers that there's potential at, but it will run through those 4 states I said first. Mary Petrola's entering the Senate race out there is critical for the Democrats, and I say that because a few things. In 2016, Donald Trump was elected president, and because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg not wanting to give up her seat, because she just knew we were going to have a woman's president, Trump got to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices who were all under the age of 45 when they were appointed. Let that sit in. That means they have an opportunity to be there. If they're there till the oldest member right now, they're there for the next 4 decades. The next president, or even as early as 27, we could see 3 new Supreme Court justices be appointed.
I mean, he would have 6.
That means he would appoint 6 out of the 9, with 2 of those potentially retiring being liberal-leaning justices, which means the court will be gone forever. We need to win the Senate, because if we don't, the court's done. And that will be a branch of government that will be down and conservative for the next 40 years. So again, I think that's the messaging that they've been using to recruit some of these candidates. But we are in a long fight over these next 285 days until Election Day. But I think it can be done. I think it will be a slim margin of 51-49. But
I'm all right with that.
I'm okay with it as long as we get it done.
No, that's right.
As long as we get it done.
Do you feel? I know this answer already, but I'm going to ask it. Do you feel that the Senate minority leader is suitable to become the
No. I think they need to move on from Chuck Schumer at this point. I think there are senators who would be great in that role as leader. And my top pick is Chris Van Hollen. He is a senior senator from Maryland. He was in leadership when he was in the U.S. House, and then he ran for the U.S. Senate.
Is that the African-American brother?
No, he's white. But Angela Alsobrooks is the black woman that serves with him. I think he would make an amazing leader that will stand up and fight back. He's very good at fundraising as well, too, and strategy. And that's kind of what you need. And that's how Schumer became the leader. But I think it's now past his time, so those old tactics aren't working anymore.
Yeah, well, he needed a Nancy Pelosi to be able to stay relevant.
Yeah,
she was really great. I mean, I just got to be honest with you. She wasn't a strong liberal. She wasn't a strong nothing. She was just good at politics. What about our House leader, minority leader? Do you feel comfortable with him?
A report came out that he said he's considering running for president. I think that is the wrong move. I think he needs to focus on winning back the House, becoming the first African-American speaker.
I didn't hear that.
So I think he is still learning right now. Again, Nancy Pelosi, when she was supposed to be in that transition period, she still held everything close to her. And again, that's what a leader should do when you're still in it. But if you know you're about to step out, you have to make sure that you're mentoring someone to replace you. And I think she didn't do a good job with that. Did not, no. Okay. And I think you're seeing the caucus break a little bit more. Again, he has to take more of a stronger hold of that caucus, and I think he can. He just has to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that would be a very egregious mistake for him to move on and try to run for president. That ain't gonna happen right now. I think the response to having an African-American president was Donald Trump. And I don't think America is willing to take that chance right now. Just like I heard Obama's wife, Michelle, share about
a potential third term?
No, about the women.
Oh, yeah.
A woman being president of the United States. Just face it. America's not ready for it. There are some people who will not vote, some women and some men, who just will not vote for a woman. And she got kind of some proof because we knew that there's no way Hillary Clinton should not have won. Everything ran well. They were doing a celebration party, and all of a sudden, she lost. Same thing happened, even though Kamala stuff was at the last minute, it was still strong. We were still able to get there and win because nobody really wanted a Donald Trump. But people will take a lesser to ensure that certain groups do not get in. And she had a double hit. She was black and she was a woman. So I don't know, but I just ask about these leaders because I do agree with you that Chuck Schumer has to go now. He has served his time. Matter of fact, I didn't never see him as a strong leader anyway. Some did. I did not. I do see Jeffries as having way more potential. He has held the caucus together pretty much, but there's a lot of cracks. There's a lot of frictions. His ability to handle them the way we've seen Nancy Pelosi handle them, I don't think he can do. Right. And now you just gave me an answer. It could be because she didn't really train him to that level, but it is what it is. How long do you think our South Carolina congressman is going to be around to serve?
Of the big three that were around for 20 years in leadership, he's the only one to announce that he is not retiring as of right now. I think he'll run 1 or 2 more terms and then retire.
Is that every 2 years for them?
Every 2 years, yeah.
Okay.
So 4 more years.
Yeah, because I think that he's still sound.
Yeah.
I think that he's still got a fight in him, and I like him a whole lot. Not because he's a Q, but I like him a whole lot. I just like him a whole lot. Listen, Coby, we've had a very good show today, and we got a whole lot of stuff we still could be talking about, but we're out of time. Is there anything else you would like to make sure we add to the show today?
I have nothing else.
You have nothing else? I want to take this opportunity first to thank all of you who watch us constantly every week. Your faithfulness is why we keep doing what we do. Secondly, I want to say thanks to all of those who won the lottery for the Easy and Fair affordable housing for seniors. I'm just hurt that we don't have enough. We had over 60 people to apply and be, as we call it, certified to be able to get into the housing. We were only able to do 10. But we will be opening back up, and we got a new project. Today I came to the set, and I showed Coby of the beginning of our next project. I don't want to show y'all too much because he knows I'm doing this because I don't really want y'all to see it. But we get ready to do another project just like the one we did. We're going to model this all over the city of Wilmington as much as we can to make sure that our seniors are taken care of. This is what I believe. Can I look at this camera right here? I personally believe that the seniors have fought the good fight. I personally believe that they have worked hard. They've survived many storms. Their eyes have seen things that our eyes may never see. We need to take care of our babies, and we need to take care of our seniors. Now, you may say, well, what about the people in the middle? You still can work. You can still make some stuff happen. Let Coby keep fighting for you. But I believe that for our seniors, we should be making a difference, and we should be sharing with them. Thank you for the struggle that you were able to survive. So I hope that when we continue to do these housing, when we continue to do our fight for making sure that justice is established and being treated fair is done, I hope that we will continue to make sure we consider our seniors because they deserve all of it. Coby, if that's it for you today, I'm going to say have a wonderful, wonderful, snowy week.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Coby Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.